Hey everybody, this is David B69, and I am trying to make sure I am broadcasting, because it's kind of embarrassing if I don't know that it's like broadcasting, so it is. We are all good. Let me switch over to my stream manager, make sure we're all live and running, and we are, and yeah, so we're doing good. We are 6-1. And we got the Washington Commanders up again. We lost. Our only game this year that we've lost is to those Washington Commanders, and we have to beat them today. And we have to do this without A.J. Brown. So that's going to be tough. But you can see our overalls, we're like way better than them. Should be no reason why we can't just like absolutely murder and destroy them. So let's get to it.
Back in week 4, the Eagles lost the thriller in their first game against the Commanders. Can Washington do it again? Find out next.
We are technically 5 miles east of Washington, D.C., and that's where you find this place, FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Today we've got a Week 8 matchup on tap here, as it'll be the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Washington Commanders. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about this Commanders team coming into play here today. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And they looked awfully good last week and came away with a 2-touchdown victory. They did have a few reasons for concern defensively, but all in all, they'll take a repeat here if they could get it.
Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Commanders' offense set to go to work, and they're led by the veteran who's bounced around a bit in season number 8 now. It's Jacoby Brissett.
There's a lot of good to watch in the game last week, wasn't there? I mean, he did throw 2 touchdown passes. That was impressive. And he's so close, isn't he? The 3 interceptions killed him and his team. That was costly. But if he just cleans that up a little bit, there's a reason for optimism with this team and this passer.
Brissett going to go to the air right away. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
But we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right out of the gate.
Under pressure, they got him again. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd. Boy, how about this to start a ball game? That's twice in a row now, Charles, that they get to it.
And how often do we talk about offenses that operate off of a script to begin games? Feels like this defense had their script together on this one. And their script said put the quarterback down and do it fast.
A miserable start here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and very long. Brissett sets to throw it. And they're going to sack him yet again. The pass rush has been relentless. This time it yields a safety.
An absolutely dominating series from that pass rush to record the safety. 3 sacks in a row shouldn't be possible against an NFL offensive line. But there they are, dropping him on 3 straight reps, the last of which came in the end zone for 2 points.
So after that safety, now a free kick situation forthcoming as they punt it away from the 20. Oh, the return is Scott. So here come the Eagles, the defending NFC champs, led out by a man who was the runner-up to Patrick Mahomes at MVP balloting a season ago. Of course, that's Jalen Hurts.
And we already knew that Hurts was a good quarterback. But last year, he moved to elite status. Under his guidance, the Eagles returned to the Super Bowl and nearly won it. And he's also one of the league's most dangerous players. Thrown for 38 touchdowns his last 2 seasons and run for another 23.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Smith catches left side. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. This 2nd and 4. Now the 3rd-year man. Here's Kenneth Gainwell. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 4th and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Hurts. It's caught on the right side. It's Smith. And he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. The Eagles at 6-1 now through 7 weeks of the season. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
2nd down and a yard. Here's a quick throw caught by Smith. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a 1st down. Well, that's not just his 1st, not his 2nd, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Second down and 4. Still going inside the 20. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. Call that a very strong gain of 24. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. And now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
He'll buy some time, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. No surprise there. Chase Young wrecks that play with a sack.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
1st down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Quick throw caught by Godwin. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Smith. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal. So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Elliott is good. So when you factor in the safety, this now a 5-point swing.
And look, I'm not going to turn away a 5-point swing because 5 points, that's valuable. Don't get me wrong on this. But if they could have taken that safety and added 7 to it, now you're talking about a really big swing.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. Johnson won't return this, and the football will come out to the 25. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. They'll get a do-over here after the safety to start the ball game. That was followed by the field goal a moment ago. So just a 5-0 game as they'll begin anew with a 1st and 10. Here's Brissett. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. These two teams met up earlier in the year, back in week 4. And it was Washington winning on the road, so they're looking to finish off the sweep here at FedEx Field. Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. And his throw here's incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. You look at this Eagle defense. They really played well in that win last week against Miami.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? And he's going to have a Commanders 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And now at this point in the 1st half, you got to realize as an offense, you're not going to get it all back in one fell swoop. This is going to be about sustained drives and making sure you finish with points. And that's a good throw there for a 1st down.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Brandon Graham, great pursuit there, getting the tackle for loss.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
2nd down, Brissett. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Brandon Graham able to record his 5th sack of the season. He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Looks like a second empty possession to start the game, and certainly not the way you want to start when you come in off of a loss last week. Every team talks about starting fast. They're hoping on their next possession, it can be a delayed fast start and get them going.
And just a net of 31 here, 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. So back onto the field, here come the Eagles for their 2nd drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the 1st quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. 1st quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
On second down, Gainwell looking for space. And he'll push ahead for about 3 to the 36. You talk about this Washington defense. They come in a top 10 unit against the pass, currently 8th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. If they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
There he goes, right side. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big one there on third down. They hit for 30 yards.
And an Eagle first down.
An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Eagles in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. And this one complete to Smith. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And they'll employ the jumbo set now on 2nd and 1. They run behind center with Gainwell. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
And they'll go right back to Gainwell here on 1st down. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. Second and 7 from the 20. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackled him for a loss.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Off the play fake. Here's Hurts. They'll roll him out right. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. It could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. So Hurts is off, and on comes Jake Elliott for the Eagle field goal. The kick by Elliott is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. And here comes Danny Johnson now from his end zone. Johnson jostles free. And he returns this to the 22. The Washington offense set to take over again. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Here's Gibson to start the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. That time a little misdirection really seemed to fool the defense.
And think of it this way. From the time you're in high school, you're taught to watch film and pick up tendencies. Sometimes they can use those against you, though, when they break their own tendencies and hit you back the opposite direction, huh?
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number is just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Nice punt, but good work on the return to get back 11 yards. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And a second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And this drive was almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on first down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Play action. Here's Hurts. He'll get that complete to Albert O. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. It's taken on the 25. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. The Commanders offense set to take over. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They go play action with Brissett. And looking for McLaurin, but this is intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Eagles are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on, and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Number 6, Devontae Smith. A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 46-yard line.
Complete to Zacchaeus. They'll give him 4 yards there. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. 8-0 our score with 2 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. Philadelphia picking up the first on a gain of 15. No surprise this offense would be able to convert. They're currently 2nd in the league in first downs, and they pick up 1 here.
Yeah, not a stat that we talk about a heck of a lot, but it's a vital one. And in this case, it's really vital because what does it do? Keeps their defense off the field, gives them a chance to rest.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, touchdown!
Devontae Smith, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Eagles have taken a 2-touchdown lead now.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 15 now. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was finished off by a touchdown from Devontae Smith. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Commanders' offense returning to the field. Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
At the 11-yard line.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. To throw is Brissett. That's out to the flat for Gibson. Only able to gain a couple there, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
On 3rd down, here's Gibson. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Tressway on 4th down is sent out to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Ward to return. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. The Eagles offense going to take over late in this first half. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And the offense moving quickly to the line.
At the Commanders' 40-yard line.
From the gun, a give to Gainwell. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. The Eagles will take their third and final timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. 3rd and 4. Throwing is Hurts. Steps away to his left. Just a crazy throw there, and it's intercepted. And the Commanders are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. That had disaster written all over. You've got a right-handed quarterback, a rolling left, and throwing it pretty far downfield.
It's really difficult to do, to try and get your body twisted around into the proper position and get anything on the ball as you heave it downfield. And that's what it actually turns into, a heave. And that's not really a good throw, is it?
Not good, and we saw the result.
So all right, Brandon, thanks very much. Hi again, everybody. Let's get you caught up with what's going on around the league here in the unofficial midway point.
That's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
We'll start over in Texas at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And it's the Cowboys who are out in front. C.D. Lamb, a touchdown reception. From there, we head up to Wisconsin to check out the Packers at home in Lambeau. And you can see, currently, they trail in that ball game. Justin Jefferson, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. As you can see, the score there in the second quarter. Daniel Jones, 2 touchdown passes thus far. The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break. But I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come. Both teams currently making their final adjustments. We're getting ready for the second half. So we'll send it back up to FedEx Field and hand things back over to Brandon Gott.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. So here are the Eagles to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 26. Starting things out with a give to Gainwell. And just shutting him off there. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Godwin, the motion man. A fake on the jet sweep as they'll go play action with Hurts. He'll check this one down to Gainwell.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Ball on the 39. Here's the second down and 4. Straight ahead, it's Gainwell.
And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
That's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to third down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. And they'll try and run for it with Gainwell. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
So after the missed long field goal attempt, this offense set up nicely at the 44-yard line. Brissett to throw on first. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Concentration, so key on a ball like that. It's hard. I know how difficult it is, but that's a ball you've got to come up with. And instead, a big play is going to slip through their fingers.
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Commanders get a bit closer. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Brett Maher on for the extra point. And they're back within 8. It's 15-7. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it was Jahan Dotson with a touchdown catch to finish things off. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Pretty important third quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be second down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
From the 32-yard line now, here's second down and 7. From the gun, here's a run by Gainwell. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It's going to bring up a third down. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
Now third down and 7. On third down, it's Gainwell. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third. The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And taken right on the 30. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Jahan Dotson, the Commanders, set to take over. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good. But there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 4. A give up the middle to Gibson. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Gibson with the solid pickup there, and the Commanders love using his ability in a variety of roles. Led the team with almost 1,400 all-purpose yards in 2022. He can run it and catch it out of the backfield.
On 1st down, right back to Gibson. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson.
Holding offense.
That's on the big guard, Gabe Jackson.
Still 2nd down.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Here's Brissett. Pressure comes and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up 3rd.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
It's 3rd and long for Brissett. Slings this deep from McLaurin. This is caught at the 20. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Hang on now. We're going to pause here. We've got an injured player. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Steps away. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Sam Howell scampering home from 19 yards And the Commanders have come back to make it a 2-point game.
Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Howell throwing for it.
And unable to connect. They don't get the 2-point conversion here.
They made the decision to go for 2. They didn't get it. They remained down by 2 points. Should they have kicked it there?
Third quarter, I'm okay with it. Maybe first or second, you don't. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, again, I keep coming back to, I don't like to chase a lot of points, but I also don't know what kicking an extra point being down 1 does for me.
The Eagles just about set to go to work on offense.
Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15.
And they'll stay on the ground with Gainwell again.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they can let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
They call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
Yeah, they've clawed their way back into this game. First half, they were down pretty big. Now all of a sudden, we've got a ball game. How have they done it?
First thing is what you just talked about, clawing their way back in. That means they've decided to go ahead and fight this thing out, which is great. The second part is they looked at where the problems were in the first half, figured out how to shore them up, and have now gone to that part of the playbook that is actually working for them. A few adjustments, a few changes, and really good execution.
Now we'll see if that trend can continue.
2nd down, Howell now.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Now Howell.
Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
3rd and long, here's Howell.
In trouble, and he's taken down.
That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it.
And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 11. Quick slant here to Smith. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say, don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, Parker. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Hurts completing this one quickly. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards the pickup there. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 6. Here's a quick throw caught by Smith. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a first down. What a throw right there for the first down. He has taken some real punishment in this game, but still standing in the pocket completing that one.
He's a flat-out warrior. There's no question about that. How about him stepping up into the teeth of the rush and delivering there for that big strike and that big pickup.
Room to maneuver at the 35. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. A good pickup there at 22.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. It's caught. Smith. Calling a gain of 3 on the play. And it's 2nd down. And here's a handoff to Gainwell. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down. He's got Smith here. That's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
And he'll be hit and as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, Brandon, we see why it's a team game there, because there's a sigh of relief that they just released defensively. If he's able to get that one away, that's likely a touchdown. But instead, that pressure from the front got to him and forced the incomplete.
And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell, his second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Eagles will add to their fourth quarter lead. So a heck of a drive right there with the game potentially hanging in the balance.
A very good drive, and now conversion to make it a two-score game and a solid lead.
Elliott on for the extra point. And that makes it a 9-point game. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it was Kenneth Gainwell who finished it off with a touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Johnson won't return this, and the football will come out to the 25. And the Washington offense heading out. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical. Howell and the Commanders come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air, eluding the pressure right. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Here's Howell. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And now they're in the hurry-up. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
4th down, Howell, desperation time. And it's going to be batted down. It will go the other way with the football. Ron Rivera, the gambling type, but he comes up empty here. And the Eagles are going to take over in great field position. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that when that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. In motion goes the tight end. On 1st and 10, it's Gainwell. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Hurts throw complete there to Smith. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And 38 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Two minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Eagles unable to convert there on fourth. And the Commanders come through with a fourth down stand. Now Washington down by 9. 1:54 on the clock. Powell to throw.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Here's Howell. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
A little bit of finger pointing and heavy discussion going on in the defensive backfield. It's man coverage, but they leave a guy wide open. They've got to be counting their lucky stars that this ball was overthrown.
Howell throwing on 3rd down here. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it'll be a turnover on downs. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
Left side here, that's complete to Godwin. Now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. And this is going to be incomplete.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
The kick by Elliott is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. And now it's Washington's turn. Trailing in this one now. Exactly 1 minute remaining. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down. On first down, Howell. Under pressure, and down he goes. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. He's going to let it fly. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give him credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You're always thinking about picking up the first down, but in this case, they were thinking about something bigger. They were thinking about the home run shot and took it downfield. Unable to connect, but admire the effort.
So here we go, 4th down, Howell. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Darius Slay with a pick, and they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Complete with 11 seconds remaining now. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now it's 2nd and 10. And this one complete to Smith. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Oh, now look at this. They're lining up to add 3 more, a little insult to injury here late in the game. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And this one is right through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but it's still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
And this is going to be covered up by Washington. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So fly, Eagles, fly. It's a victory for Philadelphia, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Philadelphia, they moved to 7-1 on the year with the victory. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Commanders, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
And boy, we just dominated all assets. Matter of fact, like without Sam Howell starting to run around and do a bunch of crazy stuff, we just dominated. I mean, does it show how many times he sacked? I don't know why they don't make that as part of the quarterback stuff, because sometimes it is his fault when stuff like that is happening. What's that? We don't have. We don't show anything when it cards stats. I mean, that's just kind of. See, sacks allowed. Let's see, who's to blame for a lot of their sacks? Braden Daniels gave up 2. Nick Gates gave up 2. Lucas the third gave up 1. Cosme gave up 1. Leno Jr. gave up 1. Ended up getting injured. Yeah. And I don't think that was all of them. Yeah, Vontae Maddox had 4 sacks. Carroll Edmonds had 3. Josh Sweat had 3. Right there, we're up to 10 sacks. Graham had 2. That's 12. Sidney Brown had 1.5. Josiah Scott had 1. Fletcher Cox had 1. Reddick had 1. And Sean Bradley, no, he didn't get any. But, man, we had, like, tons of sacks. Like I said, it's just kind of disappointing that they don't give you the amount of times on a sacks and stuff in a game. That would, like, be kind of a key thing here. Or actually, wait a second, maybe here? Nope. Wow. It is quite disappointing. So, anyway, based on that, until next time, this is David B69. I hope you enjoyed this game. We are doing really well. I mean, we were able to destroy the one team and everything that beat us so far this season. So, and did it with pretty much out our best player. So, it's always a nice thing to think about. So, until next time, this is David B69. I'm out. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.